Swindon, March 2011. A young woman leaves a nightclub. She's happy, she's safe, she's only minutes from home. But by sunrise, she has completely disappeared. What begins as a frantic missing persons search will unravel into a story of lies, police controversy, and a secret life no one could have imagined. Sian O'Callaghan was just 22 years old. Outgoing, kind, devoted to her partner and her family. She had a great job as a personal assistant. Life was full of promise. On Friday, March 18th, she went on a night out with friends. They had drinks, ate, then decided to go dancing at Suju nightclub, just a short walk from her flat. By 2:50 a.m, Sian had separated from her friends and then decided to leave the club. She was only 2 minutes away from home, but in that short distance, something happened. By morning, Sian hadn't come back. Her partner Kevin called her phone again and again, but no answer. Her family knew this wasn't like her. Friends were called, but no one had seen her since the night before. The question kept being asked, where was Sian? Kevin reported her missing.
I just want to say how very worried we are about Sian. She's been missing now for over 2 days, and it's not like her not to come home or contact any of us for such a long time. We all want to know where Sian is, and we want her home safe and well. Sian is a bubbly, lively person who is instantly liked by everyone she meets. She's very close to her family and has lots of friends. We'd like to thank all of the people who have shown their support and helped search for Sian. Their kind words and gestures have been a great help to us. Someone out there must have seen or know where she is, and we just want them to come forward and contact the police. This is a terrible time for all of us, and we're praying for Sian's safe return.
Detective Superintendent Steve Fulcher was assigned to lead the case. Police launched a huge search. Hundreds of locals joined in, scouring parks, streets and woodland. Detectives traced Sian's phone. The last signal came from Saverneck Forest. Why would she go there, in the dead of night, with no car of her own? And then came the CCTV. It showed Sian leaving Suju around 2:50 a.m, walking alone through Swindon. Moments later, another camera captured her heading down a quiet road. Then, headlights. A car pulled over beside her. Its hazard lights flashed. And after a few minutes, it drove away. Sian was gone. The car was later identified as a dark Toyota Avenus, marked as a taxi. Investigators traced it to a local driver, 47-year-old Christopher Halliwell. At first glance, Halliwell seemed ordinary, a father of 3, a quiet taxi driver. But detectives soon discovered odd behaviour. He had clocked off from work early that night, but CCTV showed him circling the area for hours afterwards. Fulcher put Halliwell under surveillance. Officers watched as he cleaned his taxi, burned items late at night, and suspiciously covered missing posters of Sian at a petrol station. Detectives knew they had the right man, but Fulcher believed there was still a chance Sian was alive. He needed Halliwell to lead them to her. After days of following him, Police observed Halliwell buy a potential lethal quantity of pills, possibly intending suicide. Fulcher knew he couldn't wait any longer. On March 24th, Halliwell was arrested. Detective Superintendent Steve Fulcher believed Sian might still be alive. He made the controversial choice to break protocol. Instead of questioning Halliwell at the station, he drove Halliwell to a remote spot near Barbary Castle, believing a less intimidating environment might persuade him to talk. His gamble paid off. After hours of silence, Halliwell finally cracked. "Would you like me to take you where she is?" he said. Halliwell led police to a rural track near Uffington. And there, in a shallowy grave at the bottom of a steep embankment, was Sian. She had been brutally stabbed multiple times in the back and neck. But just when detectives thought it was over, Halliwell said something that stunned them. "Do you want another one?"
What I can tell you is that a 47-year-old man from Swindon is in custody, having been arrested for kidnap and 2 murders. The location of 2 bodies have been identified to me by this individual, one of whom has yet to be identified formally, but I'm quite clear is Sian.
Halliwell calmly confessed to killing another woman years earlier, someone the police hadn't even linked to him. Her name was Rebecca Godden Edwards, Becky to her family. She had disappeared in 2003, her life spiralling into addiction and vulnerability. Becky had just been 20 years old when she vanished. She had struggled with drug addiction and was known in Swindon's red light district. Halliwell admitted he had picked her up, strangled her, and buried her in a Gloucestershire field. For years, Becky's mother had lived in torment, never knowing what happened to her daughter. Halliwell's confession finally gave her answers, but also unimaginable pain. But there was a problem. Although Fulcher's methods found Sian and revealed Becky's fate, his decision to question Halliwell outside of formal procedures broke strict police rules known as PACE, rules designed to protect suspects' rights. As a result, Halliwell's confession about Becky was ruled inadmissible in court. The fallout was explosive. Fulcher was hailed as a hero by some for finding Sian so quickly, but others condemned him for breaking police rules. His stellar career would never recover. Following disciplinary action, he eventually resigned. To this day, he stands by his actions, saying he did what he believed was necessary to save Sian and to bring closure to Becky's family. If he had read Christopher his rights and offered him a solicitor, he never would have led him to Becky, and she would never have been found. Meanwhile, Becky's family faced an agonizing wait. They knew Halliwell had killed her, but could justice ever be served? In 2012, Halliwell was convicted of Sian's murder and sentenced to life. Years later, after a painstaking new investigation, police finally secured enough evidence to charge him with Becky's murder too.
If I wrap this up in the next few hours, any other charges against me that will be brought, there's a past. I think you probably know about various things in the past. There's car thefts, break-ins, bits and pieces, some more serious. Will clearing this up be enough to stop everything else?
In 2016, he was found guilty. This time, the judge handed down a whole life order. Christopher Halliwell will never leave prison.
Waited over 5 years for this momentous day. It has been an extremely painful journey, but today we've received the justice that has felt like an eternity coming for our beautiful little girl, Becky.
Former detective Steve Fulcher is convinced Halliwell had more victims. The gap between both the murders is too long for Halliwell not to have reoffended. However, as of now, the case remains closed unless anything else comes to light. For Swindon and for the families, the grief remains. Hundreds turned out for Sian's funeral, the town lining the streets in silence. Becky's mother continues to speak out, ensuring her daughter's story is not forgotten. Because at the heart of this case are two young women, Sian O'Callaghan and Becky Godden Edwards. Lives full of promise, stolen by a man who should never have crossed their path. Christopher Halliwell will die behind bars, but the scars of what he did will remain forever. For Sian's family, for Becky's family, and for a community still haunted by the night, a young woman walked home and never arrived.